Back then, Kofi. I kept on grinding. I kept on pushing. I found the power of positivity. And you're not ready now. At SummerSlam, Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. This 11-year fairy tale you've been living comes to a screeching halt, courtesy of the RKO.
WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, streaming live on WWE Network. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
To think that I'm going to be going back to my home country to face my friend Becky Lynch. What a dream come true.
Well, congratulations, Nadia. But if you think that you're meeting your friend, you're in for a shock.
Becky, you want a war? You got a war.
Your career needs something, and I'm it.
I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Natalya versus The Man, a submission match for the Raw Women's Championship.
WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, streaming live on WWE Network. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
Y'all thought we were playing. I guess we gotta show y'all.
The biggest event of the summer. Here we go!
I'm bonafide and I'm on the rise. You can fortify that I'm certified. I was born to fly like I was on the sky. Don't really care about what you got, but it's more than mine. You've been told all sorts of lies. If you think I really care about your demise, I'm gonna worry about me and it's no surprise. I'ma show them who we are. So you wanna be a rock star and live life on the top, y'all. In store for the ride of your life, be good. Show them who we are. I'ma show them who we are. Show them who we are.
WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, streaming live on WWE Network. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As
And now, Good Boys presents WWE SummerSlam Kickoff.
And the official countdown has begun. The doors have just opened moments ago. Welcome to the biggest party of the summer. We call it SummerSlam, as we are sold out to the rafters here at the Scotiabank Arena. All those seats will be filled in the course of the next 2 hours. This is night 2 of 4 straight right here in this great city of Toronto. Welcome, everybody, to the SummerSlam Kickoff Show. I am your host, the Coach, and over the course of the next 2 hours, we're going to get you set for a night that you will not soon forget. We also want to give a special WWE welcome to those watching in virtual reality on Oculus. Let's get you to the panel and introduce you to my co-host, the lovely and talented, vote for her, if you know what I'm talking about,
Miss
Charlie
Health
Caruso.
And Fitness.
Yes,
vote for me to be Miss Health and Fitness, everybody. But Coach, really, you know I do not like to miss a good party. And tonight we are in for a great one. It is the biggest party of the summer. I'm ready for it.
We have been here for days, and it continues tonight. To my right, she is a WWE Hall of Famer, Miss Beth Phoenix. Good evening.
Hey, Coach. I am so happy to be here. This building, Scotiabank Arena, has so many great memories for me. I had my very first WWE tryout in that ring.
Wow.
Right there.
That's amazing.
Yep. And last night, I got to enjoy the action in the best seat of the house at the commentary seat, TakeOver 26. And tonight, I cannot wait for what SummerSlam brings. A lot of personal connection. Natalya has a great match tonight against Becky Lynch. We're going to see a new Raw Women's Champion crown.
Very cool. Can't wait to get your analysis on that later in the show. And the finest dressed man in all of the land. He is Harvard educated, and he is really trim and thin today. David Otunga.
Mr. Health and Fitness.
Yes, yes.
Yes, that is true. But we're here for SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer. This is also my favorite pay-per-view. I had my first ever pay-per-view main event, SummerSlam 2010.
Don't forget, coming up throughout the show, the King will be here, Booker T. McFoley. It will be a cast of thousands over the course of the next 2 hours.
Well, Coach, you already said it. The place is just beginning to file in with fans from all over the WWE Universe. There's not going to be one seat empty in this place tonight. It is a sold-out arena for SummerSlam. So if you are not in the building with us tonight, guess what? There is only one place to catch all of the SummerSlam action. That is on the WWE Network. So right now, everybody got to do one thing. Go to WWENetwork.com, sign up, because SummerSlam is free for new subscribers. So, Coach, let's talk about what's going down tonight.
Well, we've got so much going on. Let's start with the Universal title on the line. Brock Lesnar shocked the world, cashing in the Money in the Bank contract at Extreme Rules. It was not easy for Seth Rollins to get this rematch, but he got it, and now must figure out a way to slay the beast tonight.
And Kofi Kingston, he realizes the danger of stepping into the ring with Randy Orton, but as a fighting champion and having such a thick and personal history with the Viper, Kingston knows he has no choice but to defend his title against Orton tonight at SummerSlam.
And the Raw Women's Championship on the line, Becky Lynch, the Man, and Natalya. These two both have great confidence and great submission moves. Tonight, who will be able to sink in the disarmer or the sharpshooter long enough to get the other to tap?
And more women in action tonight. Bayley, she believes in herself as the SmackDown Women's Champion. There isn't a woman that she is not willing to face to prove why she won and has held on to the gold. And tonight, the fiery Ember Moon gets her chance to face the inspirational title holder.
And you talk about two guys that are very, very difficult to prepare for. Finn Balor, we know he's got so many different things he can do. Bray Wyatt, we don't even know what thing he's going to be. They go one-on-one tonight here at SummerSlam.
And this evening, Ricochet attempts to climb back to the top of the mountain when he takes on the man who dethroned him for the United States Championship, AJ Styles, with the added threat of the rest of the OC, who continue to make Ricochet's life a living hell.
You could argue that these are two of the biggest names, or the two biggest names in the history of the women's division. Trish Stratus, a 7-time champion. Charlotte Flair says, I've already gone past that number. The Queen wants to send Trish Stratus back home in her hometown with a loss tonight.
And the stakes are high for Kevin Owens. After constantly complaining about Shane McMahon's selfish ways, he challenged the best in the world to a match, promising to quit WWE for good if he falls to the commissioner of SmackDown Live. All right, as we mentioned earlier, there's only one place to catch all of these matches and a whole lot more action. That's on the WWE Network. So right now, head on over to WWENetwork.com, sign up, because SummerSlam is free. I said it, free for new subscribers.
I already had people on Twitter saying, hey, where is Sam Roberts? Where is JBL? Well, guess what? They're here right now joining the show. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, Coach. I'm sure the people on Twitter were very kind. I am so excited about tonight. Growing up a WWE fan, SummerSlam was one of my favorite nights of the year. And this year I get to experience it next to a legend, JBL.
Twitter is always kind to me, Sam. I'm JBL after all. We're in the home of the current NBA champions. What better place to host SummerSlam? And standing next to you, I look like $1 trillion.
I was just thinking the same thing. You know, JBL is not the only legend that is here tonight. One of the matches that I'm most excited for, to me, is the story of somebody who has earned respect over years of selling out arenas all around the world against a superstar who feels he's deserved respect based on potential that he never quite met. Coach, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know what? You know, Miz TV had a very special guest recently, and that was Dolph Ziggler. And he thought he was signing a contract to face The Miz, but instead it was Goldberg's name on the contract. And for Ziggler, he feels like WWE legends are taking up his camera time, taking his shine. Goldberg showed up and said simply, guess what? You're next.
Welcome to the Monday Night Raw reunion. What you gonna do when the Raw reunion runs wild on you? Give me a hell yeah.
Enough already with these so-called legends limping out to the ring, happy to be there. Just put me out of my misery. I'm happy you're here, Sean, because I used to idolize you. You had a chance to go off into the sunset as the greatest performer of all time. And what did you do? Every single chance you got, you shuffled back out here and waved to the crowd. It was embarrassing. It was as embarrassing as those wannabe legends last night, as embarrassing as Goldberg in a wrestling ring. You were embarrassing.
What's more embarrassing to me is working your whole career, giving everything you got, and still being known as a second-rate Shawn Michaels wannabe.
Sean, you made the biggest mistake of your life when you put your hands on me. You are living in the past, and you are looking at the future. Now on to SummerSlam. I go one-on-one with the A-lister. Miz, you want to go one-on-one with me and prove that you're the best? Well, good luck.
You know, Dolph, you didn't read the fine print of that contract. The contract that you just signed for SummerSlam isn't me versus you.
Well, Dolph, it's not me.
Undefeated man in the history of this sport to ever win the world championship.
And Dolph Ziggler wants nothing to do with Goldberg here tonight.
Dolph Ziggler!
Guess what, son? You're next.
Clearly, the WWE Universe was shocked when Goldberg showed up last week, but one man who wasn't shocked, our guest at this time. Please welcome the one and only Miz.
It is good to be here, and let me tell you something. Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt. Look at that. Toronto Not Awesome today.
Awesome.
SummerSlam, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Now, as the fans continue to file in, I got to ask you point blank, how satisfying was it for you to have Dolph come out thinking it was going to be you or John, and no, it was Goldberg?
Do you not know the Miz? Miz always has something up his sleeve, and let's face it, Dolph's been talking a lot about all the legends. He's been talking a lot about Goldberg. Now he's going to have his chance. He's going to have his opportunity on a big grand stage at the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. And guess what? Tomorrow, whatever is left of Dolph Ziggler, I have a match against him on Monday Night Raw, and it's going to be awesome.
Miz, when exactly did you come up with this plan?
Listen, I'm always thinking of things, always thinking. But when Dolph Ziggler and I got in the ring for the first time and started talking, he said something about Goldberg, and I went, that would be a lot of fun. And if he wants to prove himself, let him prove himself.
You know, Dolph does like to run his mouth. It's something we've constantly seen. I mean, he is so interested in criticizing everyone, including legends like Goldberg. I mean, where does he come across, and where does he think he's able to do something like this?
Here's with my problem with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler talks a good game. He always says it should be me. It should be me. It should be me. Well, why isn't it you? That's my question to him. Why isn't it? Why, if you listen to the fans, when the fans heard Goldberg's music, the place erupted. The roof blew off the place. Does that same reaction happen when Dolph Ziggler's music hit?
No, I mean, the answer
it does
is
not.
no.
But, so if it should be you, you need to make it you. And tonight is a night that you can make it you.
So
it can be all about you.
You're giving him the opportunity.
I'm giving him the opportunity to say, you know what, it should be you. Make it you. Let it be you. And if it's not you, guess what? Tomorrow it's not going to be you on Monday Night Raw when you have me.
Here's the thing, that with all the stuff that you talk, the one thing I think that you do is respect the legends that have come before you.
They paved the path for us.
100%. What do you make of the fact that he clearly not only doesn't respect them, he doesn't want them here?
That's been a long time. A lot of superstars get bitter, get angry whenever their spot is taken by a legend. My reaction to that is, if you don't like it, get a bigger pop than them. Get a bigger audience reaction than them. And once you have that, then they don't deserve to be here. But until then, now, I get it. A lot of people are always going to be like, oh, but guess what? They come back and it's once every 3 months and they miss them. Well, make them miss you. So after tomorrow, maybe they will have to miss Dolph Ziggler.
How do you expect him to perform tonight?
Well, I think we're going to see a spear. I think we're going to see a jackhammer.
We will see.
All right, you want to stay here for a second to talk about our next match?
If you want me to.
I think we do. I think we do.
Not?
Another big match tonight. How about the WWE title is on the line tonight? Kofi, he's really been now the hunted man since climbing to the top of the mountain, realizing his 11-year dream at WrestleMania. He and Randy Orton, they have a big-time history. That history is revisited tonight, live at SummerSlam.
You come out here and you brag about how hard you worked for the last 11 years. it's only because of me.
Randy Orton says that I got here because of him. I got here in spite of him.
I'm not gonna be bullied by anybody. That's why I took a stand.
Randy Orton brought out a side of Kofi Kingston that we've never seen before.
In 2009, I felt like I was breaking through that proverbial glass ceiling.
Oh, don't worry, Randy.
Things were finally starting to click, you know? People were getting behind me. I felt like that was the moment I made it. And unfortunately, that's not really how it worked out.
Kofi Kingston is stupid for thinking that he could hang with me.
It wasn't enough just to beat me. In his mind, he wanted to humiliate me too. There were always rumors that it was Randy who had used his influence to hold me back.
You know what? I did hold Kofi Kingston down because Kofi wasn't on my level. When you piss me off, you get sent right back to the bottom of the ladder.
Regardless of all of that, I just had to stay positive, keep on grinding.
A next-level performance. The world is believing in Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston, he had an opportunity because of me, because I took Ali out, and the rest was history.
Unrestrained determination from Kofi Kingston. Are we seeing the best Kofi Kingston of his career?
There's no Kofi Mania without me.
How long has Kofi been waiting for this opportunity? Can he finally capture the WWE Championship?
There's no Kofi WrestleMania moment without me.
Kofi did it! Kofi is champion!
And I can't even get a thank you. His entire championship reign is based on a fluke.
Well, why don't we put that to the test at SummerSlam? Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship.
Stupid, stupid, stupid.
This little 11-year fairy tale you've been living comes to a screeching halt. You weren't ready back then, Kofi, and you're not ready now.
By beating Randy Orton, it's vindication. I really want to inspire people to look at me and see, hey, anything is possible because this guy did it.
I'm gonna take that title off his waist, and I'm gonna do it with the 3 most destructive letters in sports entertainment.
It's a chance for me to prove that I belong. So at SummerSlam, when I beat Randy Orton, and I hold that WWE Championship high for everybody to see, we'll see who the stupid one is, right?
Well, the WWE Universe continues to file into the Scotiabank Arena. Everyone pumped to see this match that's been a decade in the making going down for the WWE Championship tonight between Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton. Now, it seems like there's a lot of superstars, Randy Orton being the latest, who are really down on Kofi as the WWE Champion. I mean, Randy going as far to call Kofi stupid. Is there anybody on the panel who thinks that all of these doubts are starting to climb into Kofi's mind, really get to him?
You know, guys, I got to speak up on this one as far as doubting Kofi Kingston. Kofi's been a friend of mine for a long time, and watching that footage was a little upsetting because I remember Kofi going through that, and we really felt as a team that, you know, Randy did do things to hold Kofi back. So now having him admit that, I mean, that just adds a new layer, a new level to this. It's hurtful for me.
I always say blame yourself. If you're not where you want to be in the WWE, blame yourself. Don't blame anyone else, no matter what kind of influence that they may have. Blame yourself. This is the best Randy Orton that we are seeing right now. He is angry, he is mad, and he is ready to go. He's motivated. Now, this is the same Randy Orton. This is the Orton that I wanted to see at SummerSlam against Kofi Kingston because I want to see Kofi Kingston be triumphant.
Hold on a second. This is also the best Kofi Kingston we've seen. And I think Kofi did just that. He blamed himself because back then he needed to mature. Randy might have been right. Kofi wasn't ready then. But this isn't the same Kofi from 10 years ago. Since then, he's matured as a superstar in the ring. He's learned to endure, but more importantly, he's learned to overcome. This is the most dangerous Kofi Kingston we've ever seen. And not only that, he wants to go back and he wants to correct this from his past when Randy called him stupid.
Let's go ahead and bring Sam and JBL into the conversation. Guys, what do you think? Yes, we do have to.
Come on.
Guys.
Well, this is the title defense from Kofi Kingston that I've been most looking forward to because 10 years ago, I was sitting in Madison Square Garden as a fan watching Kofi Kingston have his first breakout moment. And because of things that Randy Orton did, apparently behind the scenes, his career was stopped in its tracks. I don't even know how Kofi Kingston is standing face to face with this guy who slowed down his career by a decade.
Because it's all bogus. That's one of the most bogus things I've ever heard. You're not held down because of the man. People talk about that all the time. They make excuses for not being a top guy. Kofi was not ready a decade ago. Kofi right now is a global phenomenon. I was just in Malawi, Africa, the heart of Africa as they call it. All the kids wanted to talk about was Kofi Kingston. In Bermuda, when you go down to the local sports fields, they want to talk about Kofi Kingston. He deserves to be there right now. So does Randy Orton. Years ago, I tag teamed with the Hall of Famer Bob Orton, and he told me how this kid who was 12, 13 years old, this Randy, had all the potential to be one of the best in the world. Randy has lived up to that potential. 14-time world champion. This is an incredible matchup. I don't know what their personal animosity. I don't think Kofi deserved to be there 10 years ago. I think he does now, and this could be the show stealer tonight at SummerSlam.
Well, there's no doubt that what you're saying about Randy Orton is true. He's one of the greatest of all time. But for you to say Kofi wasn't ready, he didn't have a title match for the entire 10-year run. He finally gets one. He goes to WrestleMania, and he has had the best post-WrestleMania season of any superstar on the roster. I would say that would lead me to believe he was ready.
He didn't have a title match in 2011. He didn't have a title match in 2012. He didn't have a title match after that either. He didn't have a title run after that. So it's not like Randy Orton held him down in 2010. Kofi Kingston was not ready. Sometimes you're not ready. Michael Jordan at the University of North Carolina was not ready to be a 6-time NBA champion. He was years later. A decade later, he was. Kofi Kingston right now is ready. He was not ready then, and he can blame whatever he wants. It does not matter. I don't think it's true. He may believe it in his mind. He thinks it's true. That may inspire him tonight because he has got one of the greatest of all time to go against. Kofi wins this. It will be his career-defining moment.
I think you're right, Coach. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a kind of a capper on a 4-month incredible journey for Kofi Kingston since WrestleMania. Tonight is the WWE title on the line, Kofi and Randy Orton. Miz, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing tomorrow night on Raw. Toronto is awesome. All right, we do want to remind you, download the latest WWE app on all your devices and sign in. Watch SummerSlam. Don't wait until the last minute to do so. We do want to send out a big thank you to the Black Keys for Go, an official theme song of WWE SummerSlam. It's from the album Let's Rock, available now on Apple Music and Spotify. I want to go back. 2 weeks ago on SmackDown Live, a very special King's Court with a very special guest, Trish Stratus, that was interrupted by the Queen.
The greatest moment hasn't happened yet. Because at SummerSlam, the Queen challenges you. Nothing? Wow. I mean, I expected more out of the 7-time women's champion. But you know what? I know what it is. Since the WWE has evolved and we're no longer models shaking their assets, we are women changing the industry. Trailblazers like me.
Let me remind you, there would be no trail for you to blaze if it wasn't for me. You, more than anyone, should know that to be the woman, you need to beat the woman. You want your match at SummerSlam? You've got your match at SummerSlam.
Welcome to your nightmare, Trish, because I'm going to make you bow down to the queen.
Well, clearly, guys, I don't think Charlotte Flair saw that slap coming.
No way that she did.
Well, what it did lead to was this tonight.
Gentlemen, please welcome the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, tonight you face off against WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. But as we just saw last week on SmackDown Live, Trish said that she was responsible for all your history-making opportunities, and then she
slapped. She slapped me. And you know what? Here's the thing. I probably deserved it, but she's going to get a receipt tonight. But here's the thing. Trish wants to rewrite history and say because of women like her that started the evolution. No, it's because of legitimate athletes like me who started the evolution. And here, I get it. She's probably sitting at home. She's bored, playing with her kids, reminiscing about that one last big match. But you want to know the problem with reminiscing is? It's never as good as you remember. And Trish Stratus was never as good as me because I am the queen of all eras. And tonight, Trish is going to bow down to me. Woo!
You know, the term dream match is thrown around sometimes too much. But tonight, when you're talking about the women's division and history in the WWE, this is certainly a dream match. And
100%.
Trish said it, you know, to beat the woman, you got to beat the woman. And tonight, Charlotte has that chance that she's never had before. Beth, let's start with you.
I mean, if Charlotte's looking to cement her legacy as the woman of all eras, I mean, beating Trish Stratus would be the first place to start. I mean, you have two women that have a combined 16-time championship reigns between them. I mean, Charlotte definitely has her work cut out for her. I've been in the ring with Trish Stratus. I know what she's capable of. I've also come out of retirement for a match. And I know the struggles that Trish has been going through, but I know how focused Trish is. I know what she has done to prepare for this. Trish doesn't go halfway with anything. So I think if Charlotte thinks she's going to have an easy night tonight, she's got another thing coming.
I think Charlotte looked extremely confident, though. I mean, did you catch her reaction to that slap?
Absolutely.
She just laughed it off. That right there tells me Charlotte knows how good she is, and that's a dangerous
She's
thing.
at the top of her game.
Yeah, she definitely is.
You gotta give her that.
Can you think if somehow Trish Stratus is able to dig deep and win here tonight against Charlotte Flair? Wow.
I wouldn't put it past her, but Charlotte is, like we said, she's at the top of her game.
I mean,
so
there's nobody
you
right
don't know.
now, with the exception of maybe the man, that is performing better than Charlotte Flair. All right, switching gears now. Tonight, how about Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt? Maybe the most unusual match on the entire card. Instead of the old school Eater of Worlds or even the Jolly Cardigan wearing children's television show host, Balor will be squaring up against the horrifying masked alter ego Wyatt simply calls The Fiend.
Previously on the Firefly Funhouse.
Did you miss me? This is the Firefly Funhouse. This is my special place. Yowie wowie, we're gonna have so much fun here.
What's up, Ray?
This is no time for games. But don't worry, there's still a lot of darkness in this old noggin. Erase your mind. So what do you say? Do you want to see my secret?
I don't know how Bray Wyatt's mind works,
But the puppets and this whole new Fiend persona, clearly Bray is more twisted and messed up than ever. But I've stared fear in the eyes before. I didn't back down then, and I'm not gonna back down now.
Hi, Finn. Mercy, Ramblin' Rabbit, and I are such humongous fans of yours. I should warn you, though, while you are an extraordinary man, the Fiend is no man. The Fiend is an abomination. The Fiend is power. The Fiend remembers. The Fiend is coming for him. Let me in.
I can't wait for this match. We've been waiting for it for months. To see The Fiend in a match for the first time, it's going to be a massacre. I mean, God forbid Finn Balor summon the demon, put the paint on, and actually win a match. I don't know the ego that Finn Balor has to think that this new version of Bray Wyatt is something that he can conquer on his own, but he can't. A horror movie is going to explode in the ring, and it's going to leave Finn Balor lying.
So Finn Balor, who has won championships all over the world, who has defended the Intercontinental Championship as Finn Balor, you're saying has zero chance?
Zero chance. He's not the demon. He's Finn Balor. He's coming out here to take on this entity, the likes of which nobody's seen before. We saw what he did to Mick Foley. We saw what he did to Kurt Angle. We saw what he did to Finn Balor not too long ago. Finn Balor, he must have an ego like nobody on the roster, because he's not going to be able to beat.
What champion has not had an ego? What champion has not had a world-class ego? You think Randy Orton doesn't have an ego? You think Triple H doesn't have an ego? You think Muhammad Ali didn't have an ego? You think Hulk Hogan didn't have an ego? Of course he's got an ego. He's got an ego because he is one of the most talented superstars in the world. And while I can agree with you that if I'm putting money, I'm putting money on The Fiend, because we have not seen this. But styles make matchups. You've got this crazy Fiend. We don't know what we'd expect out of him against one of the most technical and athletic wrestlers we've ever seen in Finn Balor. This could be the sleeper of the show.
It could be, and I think it's going to be a great match, but I think Finn Balor is going to disappoint like he has many times before. Somebody who doesn't disappoint is a man who's on the panel right now. Is that right, Coach?
Well, wow, I don't know about Finn Balor disappointing, but I think it is safe to say we all know for a fact Bray Wyatt is a very twisted, a very disturbed man, and someone who can attest to that is WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, who's joining our panel to help us preview this upcoming match. And Mick, you did have the unfortunate run-in with Bray Wyatt at the Raw reunion. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was hoping to be part of a feel-good moment, to be back with a lot of friends at the Raw reunion. The Fiend interrupted it, and Charlie, in my career, I've lost in devastating fashion. That was a hallmark of my career. I've been dominated, but I never once felt helpless the way I did that evening. It was a very ominous, threatening moment, and one that took me a while to recover from.
Mick, the Fiend used the mandible claw, which has become a staple of your career. What makes it so devastating at times?
Yeah, over the course of time, when I added Mr. Sacco to a move that had already been firmly established, it took on a more humorous feeling. But it's essentially a paralyzing nerve hold in which you press down on the nerves underneath the tongue, two nerves, and you're simultaneously pressing up on the nerve that runs underneath the point of the chin. And I was specifically looking for something, a move that would allow me to get into the head of The Undertaker. And so it's a move that doesn't only paralyze physically, but emotionally as well. And I would say, based on firsthand knowledge, that The Fiend has mastered that art.
You're also a man that mastered the art of changing who you were from time to time. Nobody ever really knew which Mick Foley or Cactus Jack was going to come out, right? And that's kind of what The Fiend has become. How do you get into that mindset where from one day to the next you don't know who you're going to be?
Well, I think it's more important for the opponent to wonder who that person's going to be, because now The Fiend has set the table in a way that Finn Balor's not just thinking about winning a match, he's thinking about surviving a match. And once you get inside your opponent's head to that point, I mean, the victory is secondary to just surviving intact.
Wow. Well, Mick, thank you very much. Looking forward to your analysis. You're going to stay here with us for the next little bit.
I sure will.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll try and keep you safe here, Mick.
Yeah, I've got eyes in the back of my head. And I got Beth Phoenix looking out for me, too. Thank you, Beth.
It's always good. We got a lot more to get to here tonight on the SummerSlam kickoff show. We've actually got 3 matches that will be taking place live. How about this one? The Cruiserweight title on the line. You think it's going to be action-packed? Oh, yeah. Drew Gulak, Oney Lorcan go face-to-face live here on the kickoff show in just a little bit.
Oh, and also we have Apollo Crews squaring off against Buddy Murphy. You will not want to miss this matchup going down on the kickoff show in just a bit.
Also tonight, how about the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line? Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, new best friends, new champions, taking on former champions, the Iconics, here live tonight. Another matchup tonight, KO and the best in the world, Shane McMahon. Now, since Kevin Owens came back, he feels like Shane has hijacked Raw, and for that matter, SmackDown Live, and made it his own personal look at me, me, me show. Well, KO, in his home country, wants to stop that ego tonight.
The best in the world! I'm not the best in the world because I won a trophy. I'm the best in the world because I was born that way.
This is not your ring. This is not your show. A while ago, I watched the entire McMahon family come out in this ring and say, hey, from now on, we're gonna listen to the fans and give the audience what they want. But the only thing that's happened since then is Shane McMahon has gotten more power, more authority, and more TV time than anyone. And trust me when I say that nobody watching ever wanted that.
Hey, enough out of you. Hey, enough.
You need to hear this.
Cut his mic off. You know what? Security, get him out of here.
The one thing I'm not going to tolerate is insubordination. Like it or not, Kevin, I'm your boss. Okay? I'm your boss. So tonight, you have the night off. I hope this demonstrates a couple things. I do not have to rule with an iron fist.
Uh-oh. Kevin Owens!
SmackDown Live has been a one-man show for far too long now. Why don't you put yourself in a match at SummerSlam against me? And if you beat me, I'll quit.
Kevin Owens, as it pertains to your challenge, I accept.
Since the McMahon family is always talking about how they do what's best for business, I am asking you, at SummerSlam, you put your career on the line too.
That would be an emphatic no.
Hey, wait a minute, Owens! Shane McMahon's buddy Elias, and it's turned into a 2-on-1 situation, but Kevin Owens fighting back. And Kevin Owens is teeing off on the quote, best in the world. Stunner on the table. Oh, Shane McMahon takes down Kevin Owens.
Shane McMahon, such a lethal striker as Owens is finding out firsthand.
This could very well happen Sunday at SummerSlam, and we'll never see Kevin in WWE again.
That's what you want, Sunday! That's what you get! Because you were done! You were over! Out of my life! Out of my life! Oh, Jay, come down, come on!
Kevin, you are a former Universal Champion, a former United States champ, a former Intercontinental champ. Now, with all of your accomplishments, is it safe to say that tonight is the biggest night of your career?
You know, I would never want to downplay any of those moments you just mentioned, winning all those titles. Every single of those moments are moments I'll remember forever. But tonight, I am fighting for my career. You know, I've heard it countless times. People have been asking me, why isn't Shane's career on the line? Why didn't I make sure that Shane's career would be on the line too in the match? But like I said last Tuesday on SmackDown Live, Shane's last name is McMahon. So that means he can say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants. And it also means he has no integrity and no pride, all right? And I proved that last Tuesday when I actually did challenge him to put his career on the line too, and he refused. But you know what's important is the fact that tonight I have him in the ring. And that's why I put my career on the line from the get-go when I issued this challenge, because I wanted to make sure that he would accept. I wanted to make sure 100% that I would get him in the ring in Toronto at SummerSlam, and here we are. And I needed that to happen because tonight I plan on taking out years of frustration by beating the living hell out of Shane McMahon. And Shane, the marquee might read SummerSlam, but trust me when I say tonight is the Kevin Owens show.
You know, I can actually buy into Kevin Owens' logic that even if Shane McMahon put his career on the line, there's no guarantee that that stipulation would be met. But this mystery as to why SmackDown has been the Shane McMahon show, I think is ludicrous. You've got Shane McMahon, who just in recent memory has defeated Roman Reigns. He defeated that goof who gave up his SummerSlam match, The Miz, twice. He won the Best in the World trophy. And anytime we need something spectacular on the screen, Shane McMahon delivers. That part of Kevin Owens' logic, I don't understand at all.
Look, I don't buy any of the logic. I don't buy any of it at all. I think Kevin Owens, to me, is an incredibly talented performer. I'm a big fan of Kevin Owens, but this quixotic quest that he has to defend SmackDown, the SmackDown fans, is completely misguided to me. You want to know what it's like to fight a McMahon? Why don't you ask Jimmy Crockett? Why don't you ask Ted Turner what it's like to fight a McMahon? And as you pointed out, you've seen what Shane McMahon is willing to do to win a match. I just think that Kevin Owens has bitten off more than he can chew here for the wrong reasons.
Do you think this? I mean, we know that Kevin Owens has been underhanded in the past. I mean, he talked about the Universal title. For God's sake, it was handed to him by the Authority. Do you think that Kevin Owens saw an opportunity in targeting Shane McMahon to say, I could have my name on the marquee too?
I'm too Machiavellian to even think that is not underhanded. Yes, Kevin Owens is underhanded, absolutely. Look at what Kevin Owens does. He is an incredible performer. The stuff he's willing to do off the top rope, and on the floor, wherever it is, Kevin Owens loves to steal the show just as much as Shane McMahon does. This is going to be an awesome match to me. I just think if Kevin Owens is actually doing this for the SmackDown fans, he is horribly misguided and not giving enough credence to the opponent that he's facing, who is named McMahon, by the way.
Well, I feel like you and I should just keep talking throughout the pre-show, but there's a man in my ear telling me I have to send it back to the
Don't
panel.
listen to him.
Wow.
Sam, no one wants to hear you talk for the entire pre-show.
that is very true. That's just as honest as we could be.
All right, well, they talked about Kevin Owens. He is a very smart man. He's a very calculated man, but he is putting his career on the line for this match. Is the risk worth the reward tonight?
I don't know if it is. And I mean, Kevin keeps saying, why isn't Shane putting his career on the line? I'll tell you why. Because Kevin is the one who issued this challenge and put his foot in his mouth. So, of course, Shane's not going to then go and put his career on the line. Morally, should he? Maybe. But business, strategically, no way. Doesn't make any sense.
You know, David, I think what Kevin's doing here is if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Owens feels really strongly about standing up to the tyranny that Shane McMahon represents, and I think that he feels so passionately about that he's willing to put his career on the line, and I got to respect that.
That's great, and we can respect that, and he can be valiant all he wants, but he may be sitting at home valiantly in his couch after tonight.
We have a show of hands for everyone here who has ended their career with a stipulation match like this one. That would be me, and I know going in, you realize you're gainfully employed one day, you wake up the next. Never mind the fact that it was one of the greatest matches of my career. Triple H ended my career, cost me a few of my very best years, and Kevin Owens is looking at that very real possibility. A man who's always prided himself on being a prize fighter, where the competition was a means to an end to be the best supplier he could be for his family. That can be all done by the time we wake up.
What did that feel like the next morning, looking back, like the immediate reaction in your mind?
Yeah, you realize, what have I done? What did I do? And that's got to be going through Kevin's mind. I disagree with him on one thing about Shane, where he said Shane has no pride. Shane's got a lot of pride. And that pride could be his undoing, because Shane doesn't just want to win, he wants to win in spectacular McMahon fashion.
And there was a SummerSlam where yours truly took 4 chairs to Shane, and he didn't like that very much. And trust me, I'm still feeling it all these years later from one Shane McMahon. And
You're
tonight,
welcome.
Yeah, I know, right? You challenge him, he's not going to like it. Mick, thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the show tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. I will.
WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, thank you very much. Well, we are continuing our countdown here on the SummerSlam Kickoff Show. We are sold out here at the Scotiabank Arena, and every single seat will be filled as we take over the WWE Network tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, live from Toronto.
What do we have here?
Oh, baby.
Long time no see, brother.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, looks like you fellas have been pretty busy here.
That's right.
I like it,
brother.
You know.
We've been busy running the show.
He's not wrong.
And making sure the entire world knows that it's actually the OC's world. And they're just living in it.
That's right. You know, and that continues tonight when the phenomenal brother finishes off Ricochet for the final time.
Oh! Yeah. Hey, speaking of tonight.
Yeah?
My man here, little brother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has a match against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, this psychotic man. And I've been getting good luck wishes all week, but the truth is, maybe you're the one that needs a little luck tonight. I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe. Think you might.
AJ, looks got nothing to do with it. Tonight, I'm ready to play Bray Wyatt's mind games. So no. I get it. I know. I get it. I do. Of course. I'm just saying. Did you see what he did to Mick Foley, Kurt Angle? It'd be a shame if that happened to you. Here's what I'm offering. Here's what the OC is offering.
Give it to him.
If you need our help, just say win.
Win. That's all you got to do, bud. Win. Oh, throw it up. Oh,
Look at that.
He does have to throw it up.
You getting that old familiar cramp ski?
He's had that cramp
Beautiful.
before.
Do you want that?
He's had that cramp a couple times.
All you have to do is
Win.
Here you go.
Look, he's getting it.
Yeah, he wants
I see
it.
him cramping up.
Look at him looking at it.
It is hard not to be entertained and wonder if Finn Balor will actually say win tonight to
Everyone's
the OC.
very down on him ahead of this match he has with Bray Wyatt.
Well, the Fiend, we don't know what to expect here later tonight, but certainly AJ Styles and the OC certainly full of confidence. Don't forget, download the latest WWE app on all your devices and sign in to watch SummerSlam. Don't wait until the last minute. Speaking of AJ Styles, he also is going to be very busy tonight, taking on Ricochet for the United States Championship. Now, Ricochet dazzled the world when he climbed the top of the mountain very early on in his career against Samoa Joe at WWE Stomping Grounds, but very quickly realized what it's like to be the hunted instead of the hunter. Tonight, once again, he's a hunter, and he's going after the champion, AJ Styles.
AJ Styles an opportunity to win the United States Championship. He was fired up by his buddies Anderson and Gallows.
For all your talk about us losing our edge, what's happened to you? The AJ Styles that I know would walk up to Ricochet and slap him across the face.
I'm taking that title.
AJ Styles is not the United States champion, at least not yet. Styles has the champion on the ropes. Oh my God, outrageous. Shoulders down to retain the title. Oh! Ricochet with the victory. Respect between two incredible athletes. I don't know if Gallows and Anderson are mocking this. God, Styles! What are you waiting for? Oh my God, not from up there, AJ! The Styles clash! Styles, Gallows, and Anderson. The OC rides once again. AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship.
Oh, wait.
Oh, look at Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. This match hasn't even started. As if AJ needed any more confidence. AJ Styles fired up.
Pure disrespect from AJ Styles.
And the United States champion now is rolling. And now he takes out Anderson and Gallows. Carl better not get Styles disqualified. Yeah, but Gallows, the official didn't see it. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
My God, not from there. You gotta be kidding me. Styles clash connects. Ricochet hasn't moved. Styles wins the United States title.
We are the most dominant group in the WWE, the OC.
No one does it better than Ricochet from the top rope. Yeah, Andrade in the drop zone. Six starting. Ricochet, hook of the leg. Ricochet's going to SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam, when I beat AJ Styles and I raised the U.S. title over my head once again, then everyone will believe. And so will I.
This is AJ Styles.
You think you can beat me so easily, huh?
AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship.
It wasn't that long ago that I was asking AJ Styles here on the kickoff show, what happened? What happened to the championship winning ways of AJ Styles? I'm assuming that motivated him because they're back. He has found himself coming back together with Gallows and Anderson, has created a new, refreshed, even more difficult to defeat AJ Styles, and somebody that I look forward to watching every single week. This match with Ricochet, I think, is going to be one for the ages.
I agree with you. I think the end justifies the means, and that's what AJ Styles figured out somewhere along the way. Look, I remember when Flash Funk, Too Cold Scorpio, came into this business, and he was doing stuff that people could not believe. It was like he defied gravity. This kid, Ricochet, is like Scorpio times 10. And you put that against AJ Styles, who, to me, is this generation's Shawn Michaels. He is a once-in-a-lifetime performer. I hope Gallows and Anderson don't get involved for selfish reasons, because I think you're right. This could absolutely be a classic.
But you've been a part of the numbers game before. You've had many partners throughout your career. When you're in the ring with somebody who's that laser focused, those moves that Ricochet pulls off, they take laser focus. You can't concentrate on three people. Gallows and Anderson being at ringside, I have to believe that's going to be a huge. It's not going to be something that Ricochet is going to be able to get
Yeah,
past.
but look, I agree with what AJ Styles is doing. You have one moment in time to win matches. You have one moment in time to win championships. I'm retired now in Bermuda playing golf. You know how much I'd love to be in this ring one more time? I was a main event here at SummerSlam in this building. You know how much I'd like to do that one more time and get one more victory, one more championship? They are hard to come by. All of these athletes are talented. You do whatever is necessary to win, and AJ Styles has realized that, and AJ Styles is more dangerous because of that.
I think we agree with each other again. These two are going to bring out the best in each other. What do you all think?
Well, I think we would love to see JBL go back to Bermuda right now. I think that's what we would like to see. But quickly, let's give our take on this. And when you look at Ricochet, I think a lot of people thought maybe he won the title a little bit too early in his career, and now he's been baptized into what truly the business and being at the top level is all about.
No, I think Ricochet is super talented. I mean, he has a huge heart, but at the same time, you got AJ Styles, you got Gallows and Anderson, the OC. All three of these guys have gold around their waist for a reason. And I think they're going to be a powerful trio. They could be one of the most powerful trios to go down in WWE history, frankly.
I'd agree with that.
I think right now we're seeing the OC as kind of the power players here in the WWE. We need to transition now to something that's really been the talk of the WWE universe the last couple of weeks. And really that is, who is really behind the attacks on one Roman Reigns?
The big dog, Roman Reigns, is on his way, and Roman did tell us that he'd give us a little insight on who his opponent for SummerSlam will be, and here he is. Wait, Roman, watch out! Ah! Get this off him! We need help! Pyramid! Oh my God!
gotta get it. Bruce. Okay? Come on. Guys,
It's okay.
Bro, you all right? Come on, let's get you checked out. You okay?
I got people accusing me for trying to take out Roman Reigns. So the show is getting shut down until I get the apology that I deserve. Roman's in the parking lot, so how about I go greet his ass?
Hey, you got my name in your mouth a lot lately, but I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm standing right here. I'm about to see something. You know, she's crazy.
Get a medic out here! Get a medic!
Get some help, come on. Calling 911.
Get somebody out here. Get out here. All right, man, I gotta go. Hold on a second.
All right, I need everybody out. No, buddy, you ain't going nowhere. I saw you in that hallway, so that makes me assume that you did it, or you know exactly who did it.
I don't know who did it. But if I did, I still wouldn't tell you a damn thing.
Who did it? Tell me who did it. I want a name. Run! Rowan did it. Rowan?
You know, clearly Roman Reigns has been very emotional because he has no idea who is behind these attacks, and I think I would be as well. By the way, Buddy Murphy has a match here on the Kickoff Show. You wonder what kind of condition he'll be in. Beth, I want to start with you. What do you make of all these different attacks? And it's been Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, and others that people have suspected.
I mean, what a betrayal Roman Reigns has to feel from our locker room. You know, he's looked at as a leader, a locker room leader amongst all the male superstars. And I mean, it's just got to feel like he doesn't know where to turn. So I do respect the fact that he's taking matters into his own hands, not waiting and letting anxiety and stress eat him up inside. He's taking matters into his own hands, and I want to know the truth as much as he does.
David, you're a lawyer. All right, you know, you've been in situations where you know, there's he said, she said. What do you make of all this?
Well, I think you have to forget anything that Buddy Murphy said because he clearly was under duress. This is a coerced confession. When he implicated Rowan, he was trying to get Roman to stop attacking him and to take his forearm out of his neck. So, I mean, we don't know who's behind this, but really, I mean, you can't say that Rowan is. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Well, I think we all are ready to find out, and certainly Roman Reigns is ready to find out who in the world wants to do this to him and why they've been wanting to do this to him as well. Well, I told you it was a supersized kickoff show. It's time for our first live match. Let's sit it down to ringside. Vic Joseph, Nigel, and Aiden English. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Coach. As you can see, just over an hour away, a sold-out crowd still filing in to the Scotiabank Center here in Toronto. But we're getting ready for the first of 7 championship matches here tonight. And, well, WWE Universe has said this could be the hardest hitting match in Cruiserweight Championship history.
100% Oney Lorcan has got to bring everything he has against a very determined and different Drew Gulak.
That's right, it's the striking of Lorcan against the grappling of the Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak. If Gulak can survive the onslaught, Gulak wins.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Introducing the challenger from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing in at 190 pounds, Oney Lorcan! And Oney Lorcan outlasting 5 others, including 3 former champions, to earn his first championship match here tonight. And his opponent from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 203 pounds, he is the WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Drew Gulak.
A somewhat lackadaisical look on the face of the Cruiserweight Champion turns immediately into determination. Gulak continues his dominant run as the Cruiserweight Champion. Only had 5 days to prepare for this title, but he is more than ready for the challenge.
And Drew Gulak looks determined as ever to defend his Cruiserweight Championship title. And tonight's SummerSlam kickoff show is brought to you by Good Boys, a new rated R comedy from the guys who brought you Superbad Neighbors and Sausage Party. It's in theaters this Friday, August 16th. And that is what it is all about, the Cruiserweight Championship. As you can see, still a capacity crowd filing into the Scotiabank Center, and they are getting ready for the Cruiserweight title match. And guys, we've been waiting for this all week. Oney Lorcan might still be feeling the effects of that matchup, that six-pack challenge. And look at Drew Gulak.
Did not expect such an aggressive opening from Gulak. I expected the Matapan battler to come out all strikes.
But we have seen Drew Gulak come out fast from the gate in the past.
Absolutely. The last few months, we've seen it. That's the kind of attitude that's led Drew Gulak to that Cruiserweight Championship.
Well, Drew Gulak's path to the Cruiserweight Championship is a Lorcan first cover of the matchup. Let's not forget, it was Drew Gulak who was challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship just 1 year ago. Now he comes back to SummerSlam as champion.
And this is a very different Drew Gulak ever since his return here to 205 Live from that brief hiatus. A darker Obsidian Drew Gulak.
And not only a different Drew Gulak from a year ago, but Drew even said on social media, this is a different Drew Gulak than Oney Lorcan has ever known. These two go back years, but this is a totally new man and a new champion.
Yeah, it's a quote. He said, the Drew that Oney knew is gone. Change is the law of life. His new motto as he has continued to evolve here in the Cruiserweight division as Oney Lorcan now into a front face lock. But Nigel, would you want to try to trade hold for hold with the Cruiserweight champion?
I don't think that's Lorcan's best bet, best strategy in this matchup. Stick to striking. Lorcan is known as a hard hitter, a frenetic striker. That, I would believe, is his best strategy. Right now, he's being tied up.
Shoulders are down, and Lorcan able to roll through at 2.
But that's one of the things that makes this matchup so unique. These guys are not exactly your typical cruiserweights. Vouching more for, like you said, hard hits, going hold for hold, less high flying than you might typically see in a 205 match.
Really nothing typical about Oney Lorcan, who, you know the story about the apple never falls far from this tree. Lorcan's father was a bit of a street fighter himself. Once came home from a bar fight, lost half of his nose. Oh!
Oh! Chops ringing through the Scotiabank Center as Lorcan now right on top of the Cruiserweight champion. And Lorcan follows in with a clothesline.
And you saw the whites in Drew Gulak's eyes light up when he got lit up with those chops.
But look at Gulak answering right back in a slam. And did you see Lorcan's knee bend as into the cover goes the champion. Gulak kicks out. Can Oney Lorcan bounce back in this Cruiserweight Championship matchup here at SummerSlam?
I refuse to let Brock Lesnar be the champion that defines the future. Wait a minute!
Hold on! And the beast is on the attack. Brock Lesnar may not leave anything left to Rollins for SummerSlam.
This is all I've got. I'll be at SummerSlam, and I'll beat Brock Lesnar.
WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, streaming live on WWE Network tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
Well, I cannot wait to see if Rollins can slay the beast tonight here in Toronto as a cover hook of the leg and another kick out by Gulak. We are less than 1 hour away from SummerSlam beginning here in Toronto, and the Cruiserweight Championship is on the line right now.
And you saw that same determination, that struggle in the face of Seth Rollins, but you're seeing that in the face of Oney Lorcan as he's struggling, as he's fighting, but staying in this contest with Drew Gulak.
Gulak maintaining the aggression, using that grappling advantage that I mentioned earlier.
Lorcan trying to counter his way free of the Cruiserweight champion, and Gulak right back in. Just trying to hold down Lorcan. But look at Lorcan trying to create a little bit of separation, and look at Lorcan, guys. Look at the strength of Oney Lorcan right now.
He's powering out, and Drew Gulak has to keep him pinned down, because if he doesn't, if he can get that unbridled chaos that Oney Lorcan is known for, if he can get free,
yeah, you get in.
Drew Gulak is in trouble,
and now,
like he is right now.
And now look at Oney Lorcan trying to fire back on the Cruiserweight champion.
Uppercuts skipping off the chest underneath the jaw of the champion.
Lorcan coming in. Buster connects center of the ring. Gulak could be in trouble, and Drew Gulak just able to kick out at 2, and there's that unbridled rage of Lorcan.
That's right, call him the Fury of 205 Live. As he turns his attention to Drew Gulak, who's kind of headed for a different territory on the outside.
Lorcan quickly.
Gulak begging for quarter and getting none.
But Oney Lorcan's got to get Drew Gulak back into the ring. Only way he can win the Cruiserweight title, pinfall or submission, inside the squared circle. And Lorcan to the outside, finally getting the champion back inside the ring.
Lorcan said, give me Gulak, and now he's got him.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Straight in the Gulak.
Gulak's locked in.
It's in.
Gulak's locked in. Is Oney Lorcan going to tap?
We can have a new champion here.
The challenger is in trouble. Look at Lorcan. He's reaching out for that bottom rope.
Body scissors applied to try to control the midsection.
What a nice shot by Gulak, just pulling back the left arm. There's nowhere for Oney Lorcan to go. Is Lorcan, and Lorcan reaches out with his foot.
Incredible wherewithal from the challenger, having his arms taken from him, using his feet to reach the ropes.
Presence of mind as well by Lorcan.
Veteran instinct. You could see that Lorcan's vision was distracted by the left arm of Drew Gulak. So that's just knowing where you are in the ring at all times.
Lorcan also in the ring with the champion, Drew Gulak, who has shown he's been able to adapt to all challengers. That's why Lorcan looking for that half and half. And Drew Gulak able to slip free, and now, Gulak looking for the Cyclone Crash. And a nice counter back into a half and half attempt. Can Lorcan lift the champion? Gulak with a succession of elbows finally breaks the hold. Whoa.
Back and forth, showing you just how well these two are matched.
Double clothesline, both superstars down.
You saw them going counter for counter, ending up with both guys having the same idea, clothesline. Again, mind being very similar to one another.
Oney Lorcan has said it is his destiny to become champion. Cedric Alexander said one day this division would be Lorcan's. Will that be tonight here at the biggest event of the summer? Both superstars up.
Fists were clenched, but it was an open hand palm strike.
And now champion and challenger, and champion getting the better right now of Lorcan.
Wow,
Whoa.
look at that.
And now look at
Strike
Gulak.
exchange with Gulak on the offense, getting the better of it.
Vic, you said it at the beginning of this could be, and I think it is, the hardest hitting match we've seen here.
Lorcan giving up his back to the champion, very dangerous position.
And Lorcan, wait a minute.
Why.
Gulak
That is
locked
why.
in again. The Gulak is locked in again. Lorcan reverses.
Over.
Shoulders are down. And Gulak, that was close.
How close was that?
Look at Lorcan now, right into the face of the champion. Lorcan was so close. And now trying to chop down the Cruiserweight champion.
But Drew's still on his feet.
Champion is rocked right now. Will the third time be the charm? And a half and half doesn't connect. Nice counter by the champion. And the challenger back in. Lorcan said he wanted to fight. He was looking forward to this fight. Can he continue to take it to the champion?
Gulak holding onto that ring skirt for all he's worth. A little bit of a distraction there.
Gulak just trying to hold on to anything at this point.
Hanging on for dear life.
Oh, nasty stomp.
And now,
Oh!
wait a minute. What a right hand by Gulak.
Right into the Adam's apple, into the throat.
And now Gulak
opens him up here
with the Cyclone crash center of the ring into the cover, and the Cruiserweight champion retains.
Here is your winner and still the WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Drew Gulak.
But guys, you can see Oney Lorcan right now. I mean, that was a vicious right hand thrown, what did you say, the Adam's apple?
Right of the Adam's apple to the throat. Drew Gulak knew exactly what he was doing. A slight bending of the rules, not a breaking.
Yeah. What does that say about the position, how desperate Drew Gulak was that he had to take a shot like that?
I don't think Gulak cares. He is the Cruiserweight champion.
Let's take one more look at it. To your point, right there.
With the official's back turned, but I have to say, I think he still would have got this either way.
Well, JBL said earlier on the kickoff show, you do whatever you need to do to win. And if change is the law of life, Drew Gulak again proves that he is the law in the Cruiserweight division.
So Drew Gulak retains the Cruiserweight title. We are into the second hour of our SummerSlam kickoff show. We are sold out. Look at that scene right there here in Toronto, the home of the 2019 NBA champions, the same city where The Rock once took on the immortal Hulk Hogan. So many great memories here in Toronto. Welcome back here to the panel. I am your host, the coach, and over the course of the next about 53 minutes or so, we're going to get you set for the biggest party of the summer, night 2 of 4 straight here in Toronto. Let's get to know our panel this hour. My co-host to my left, Charlie Cruz. So hello, Charlie.
Coach, we have been having so much fun so far here on the kickoff show. I'm ready for the second hour. I'm ready for the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam.
And we've got Hall of Famers crawling everywhere. To my right, Jerry the King Lawler. What's up, King?
Everything's great. I'm ready for the SummerSlam party, baby.
To my left, he is also WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. Booker T.
Nobody know which one, where am I? Right here? Hey, there it is. What's going on? Hey, it is SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer. They loving Jerry right there.
They love King.
You know, I don't know exactly how they party here in the Great White North, but down south where I come from, at SummerSlam, we party till the cows come home, and then we party with the cows.
Hang on, everybody. Everybody, please, listen. I hear you all discussing every other WWE superstar's issues going into SummerSlam, but what about the real story? What about the 24/7 championship? What about me, Drake Maverick, and my problems and my life? Friday, I made a failed attempt to become 24/7 champion at the SummerSlam meet and greet. Have you seen him, King? Book, have you seen him? Charlie, have you seen him?
You're looking for our truth?
Look, listen. I vow to everyone in the WWE universe, I am not leaving Toronto, Canada without being 24/7 champion again. And Renee, honey, I'm bringing that championship home. And we're going to consummate our marriage, okay? So if you've seen him, let me know, all right? Thank you,
sure.
thank you,
We
Book.
Right.
Thank you, King. You never look better.
They got a number on here. How we...
Wait,
Okay.
hold on.
They're-
Is there anyone seeing this?
They're actually R-Truth and Carmelo are under the glass on our set. And Drew...
Should we go back and Drake?
No, we're not going to tell Drake.
No,
No, we've got a kickoff show to do.
I mean, here's a wanted sign.
Hey, somebody's looking for you.
I'm good. No, I'm good. I appreciate it.
Thank
you. You got 2 pits?
Melo, this block is hot.
I know. We gotta find somewhere else. I know.
What's the popcorn?
Not right now.
No, we're good.
I gotta find a place to go.
Okay.
We've been here all night watching NXT take over Toronto.
No, that was last night. NXT was last night.
Last night.
Oh, didn't hear you.
We gotta go right now.
We better find a good hiding spot, by the way.
We just got to say what's up. That's all, man. Let's go.
Some Twizzlers.
I love Twizzlers.
This is ridiculous. Where's your hiding spot for tonight? I mean, Drake Maverick, he's on the lookout.
Whoa! I got you now! I got me a referee! I got you now!
Oh, hell.
Where you going? Where you going? You ain't going nowhere.
Watch it. Look out!
I got you.
Did Carmelo distribute?
I think she did.
What is going on here?
Well, I know one thing.
Oh, man.
We got a little popcorn to eat.
Yeah.
But, Charlie, you go ahead. We're going to clean up the set, I think.
All right, well, guys, there is already so much going on here, as you can see here on the kickoff show, and the action's only getting started. So if you can't be with us here in Toronto, it is a sold-out house here at the Scotiabank Arena. There's only one place to catch the SummerSlam action. Excuse my popcorn.
That popcorn.
That is going to be on the WWE Network, so head on over right now to WWENetwork.com. Sign up, because guess what? SummerSlam and all this popcorn is free for new subscribers.
How are you supposed to miss health and fitness when you're eating
Don't
popcorn?
question me.
All right, here we go. Tonight, the Universal Championship on the line. Brock Lesnar shocked the world at Extreme Rules when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. Seth Rollins has earned this shot back tonight. Can he slay the beast? He's got one opportunity.
And Kofi Kingston, he realizes the danger of stepping into the ring with the Viper, but as a fighting champion and having such a personal history with Orton, Kingston knows he has to defend his title tonight at SummerSlam. And also Bayley, she believes in herself as a SmackDown Women's Champion, and you know what? There is not a woman that she is not willing to face to prove why she is the champion. Tonight, the fiery Ember Moon gets the chance to face this inspirational title holder.
Yeah, you're talking about maybe the most unusual matchup, but a matchup that we're all looking forward to. Finn Balor going up against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. This will be his in-ring debut as the Fiend. I don't think anybody knows what to expect tonight from Bray Wyatt.
And this evening, Ricochet aims to get back in the driver's seat as the United States champion, taking on AJ Styles. But there is the added threat of the rest of the OC, who will, we already know, make Ricochet's life a living hell.
Two of the biggest names in the history of the women's division. Trish Stratus in her hometown of Toronto, a 7-time women's champion, taking on a 9-time women's champion and the queen, Charlotte Flair.
And the stakes are extremely high for Kevin Owens. After constantly complaining about Shane McMahon's selfish ways, he challenged the best in the world to a match, promising to quit WWE for good if he loses to the commissioner of SmackDown Live tonight.
And guess what? Dolph Ziggler, he's sick and tired of all these legends walking around here, taking his shine, taking his camera time. Well, guess what? Goldberg showed up recently on Raw, and he just had one message for Dolph Ziggler. You're next. And tonight, they go one-on-one here at SummerSlam.
I know no one wants to miss what's about to go down here in Toronto tonight. So as I just told you, everybody get ready right now. Go to WWENetwork.com. Sign up, because with your free trial, you will get SummerSlam absolutely free. Yes, I said it. SummerSlam is absolutely free for new subscribers to the WWE Network.
Well, another featured matchup tonight. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line. Becky Lynch, the Man, and Natalya. Now, Natalya earned this spot by winning a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. And recently, Becky Lynch went on social media and she said, hey, don't blame anybody else. You need to stand up, and if you've earned your spot, own it. Becky Lynch has certainly earned her spot and raised the level of the game for the entire women's division. But tonight is a submission match, and both women feel like they have the better submission maneuver. Who does? We'll find out tonight.
To think that I'm going to be going back to my home country of Canada for the Raw Women's Championship, what a dream come true.
Natty, your career needs something, and I'm it. And if it's one thing that I've learned in all of this, it's that I do a lot better in war than I do in love.
Becky, you want a war? You got a war.
Natalya goes right after Becky.
Natty's on a mission.
At SummerSlam, I'd like to challenge Becky Lynch to a submission match. My superior sharpshooter to her inferior disarmer.
She already let Canada down her whole career, so why stop now? Let them be there to see her tap out to me in her home country.
Issues between Natalya and Becky Lynch have gotten so deeply personal in such short order.
They told me no chance, but I'm believing. Becky Lynch thinks that she built this women's evolution?
Watch how I break through the ceiling. This women's evolution was built by women like me.
I am the one thing that her career is missing. And in Toronto, I'm gonna give her people the one thing that they need. A new hero, me.
Oh, there is gonna be a huge celebration in Canada at SummerSlam when I make the man tap out in front of all of my people.
Becky's Disarmer versus Natalya Sharpshooter at SummerSlam.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the woman facing Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship tonight in a submission match, Canada's own Natalya. Natalya, a couple weeks ago, Becky Lynch called you a good girl who doesn't want to get fired. What's your response?
Well, 1 minute Becky Lynch is saying I'm a good girl who doesn't want to get fired, and then she's saying that I'm a backstabbing snake because I helped train Ronda Rousey. I mean, Becky's all over the place when it comes to dragging me, but when I put her in the sharpshooter tonight, she's gonna be getting dragged. I mean, all over the place, Becky? Really? I've maintained one thing and one thing only, Sarah. When I lock in the sharpshooter tonight at SummerSlam in Toronto, Canada, I'm walking away the Raw Women's Champion.
Okay, so a lot of emotions running high in this match. I have a question off the top here for the two of you. Which submission hold would you least like to find yourself in?
Me first?
The Disarmer or?
Age before beauty.
Oh, there you okay, yeah. Well, listen, I go a long way back with the Hart family. I mean, all the way back to Natalya's grandparents, Stu and Helen Hart. I got off on the wrong foot with them when I asked them how it was working on the pyramids. And then that didn't set well with their son, Bret Hart. And I can tell you, I got put in the sharpshooter by Bret Hart more times than I want to remember. And so, without a doubt, I can tell you from my own personal experience that the sharpshooter is the most painful hold that I have ever had put on me.
Wow, strong words.
I mean, you know, the past is the past. Let's say that, and we can't talk about Natalya without talking about Becky Lynch being the now, and Natalya at one point in time she was the greatest of all time. Let's just say it. As far as being a submission specialist, Natalya, she's got that, but you got to go with the man. I mean, Becky Lynch has put herself in position to be, I mean, the signs are going to be out in here tonight. The man, you're going to see signs out, even though we're in Canada, just like Natalya said, her home country, it's going to be so many people here for Becky Lynch for what she has brought to the women's division. It all started at SummerSlam, and I think it's going to end at SummerSlam.
But remember this, last Monday, Becky Lynch had that sharpshooter put on her leg for a long time. She may not be 100% tonight.
That's a good point.
That's a very, very good point. You know, Becky Lynch has really embraced, we got 20 seconds, becoming the hunted. How do you make what she has done the last 3 months, embracing everybody coming at her?
Well, that's to her credit. That's the thing you got to do to be a champion, and she has absolutely done it. The man is the man. Right?
That's what champions do. Trust me. I know. Okay. I know.
All right, very good. We'll leave it right there. Time to send it back down to ringside. Let's send it to Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. Gentlemen.
Yeah, the Raw Women's Championship in a submission match later on tonight. Graves, I'll ask you. Granted, the sharpshooter versus the disarmer, but often it comes down to will. Who do you like, Lynch or Natalya?
Tonight, the man, like it or not, is entering enemy territory. Natalya has the hometown advantage, if you will. That said, nothing or nobody's been able to stop Becky Lynch lately.
That match later tonight here on the SummerSlam pay-per-view, but the kickoff show continues. Apollo Crews ready for action.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Stone Mountain, Georgia, weighing in at 240 pounds, Apollo Crews!
Byron, I'm excited about this matchup, a late addition to the SummerSlam card. What a showcase, what an opportunity for Apollo Crews.
You talk about boundless potential. That's what Apollo Crews has. He is a true definition of a stud in this industry.
I completely agree with you, Byron. Apollo certainly possesses all of the tools to become a major player here in WWE. That said, it feels like time after time after time, Apollo fails to capitalize on an opportunity of this magnitude. maybe tonight Apollo turns the corner.
He's going to have a tough task ahead of him. The best kept secret is on his way.
And his opponent from Melbourne, Australia, weighing in at 205 pounds, Buddy Murphy.
If this is your first opportunity to get your eyes on the best kept secret in WWE, do not blink. Buddy Murphy is capable of incredible action from bell to bell. Former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, this Australian star is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Now, this is Buddy Murphy's first match as an official member of the SmackDown Live roster, and even without stepping inside the ring as a competitor, Byron, he did make waves this past Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. He got into an altercation with Roman Reigns in the locker room.
Oh, wasting no time.
That could be it. I could put down Apollo Crews right here. Murphy thinks he has him in a kick out.
And to your point, Tom, much like he did with Roman Reigns, immediately Buddy Murphy trying to make an impression.
And the WWE Universe still filing in here to the Scotiabank Arena. Expected to be sold out here in Toronto tonight. Less than 37 minutes until SummerSlam begins streaming live on the WWE Network.
You can look at this past week one of two ways for Buddy Murphy. Yes, he drew the ire of the big dog. Never a situation you want to find yourself in. That said, Buddy Murphy now has the eyes of the WWE Universe exactly where he wants them, on himself.
Oh! Kick to the back, trying to put away Crews. Hook to the leg, and Apollo powers out. Byron, do you believe the accusations made by Buddy Murphy to Roman Reigns that it was Rowan?
Cover here.
The put away Crews again, and a kick out. Claiming that Rowan was driving the forklift that first night that Roman Reigns was involved in an incident.
I'm really not sure what to believe. I don't know what the incentive would be to lie to Roman Reigns if you're Buddy Murphy.
Just to play devil's advocate, when you got fear coursing through your veins, as obviously Buddy Murphy did, you can say some crazy things. Sometimes you'll admit to things you didn't even do.
And now Murphy takes a shot there at Apollo Crews. Oh, both men meet in the middle.
High impact collision for Murphy and Crews. Could be a pivotal point in this matchup. Which one of these two athletes can make it to their feet first? Let's take one more look at this. Crews and Murphy both possessing incredible speed, colliding at a high velocity in the center of the ring.
I talked to Crews earlier. He said to me, listen, I'm not here for handouts. I just want opportunity, and I will make the best of them.
Oh, right to the back of the neck.
One thing to say it, it's another to do it. Apollo has had quite a few opportunities. It's about time he starts owning up and capitalizing.
And Murphy looks like he's a little bit rocked. Crews trying to take advantage of the pump kick. Oh, takes down Murphy. And the kip up.
This is what makes Apollo Crews so good. Not only incredibly strong.
Oh, and Seguri.
Incredibly agile as well. Quick strike ability.
And Apollo was going for the Olympic slam. Great counter.
Murphy able to escape for the moment.
Oh!
Boot connects. Crews is rocked. What's Murphy going to do next?
Oh, and Murphy caught into the Samoan drop.
That's the strength I was talking about.
And the standing moonsault. Here's the cover. Murphy out at 2.5.
Close call for Apollo Crews.
Graves, how many men in the history of WWE the size of Apollo Crews can do what Crews does?
Not many. Apollo Crews possesses a scary blend of all athletic abilities, from size, speed, power, agility. Apollo definitely has the tools. It's just a matter of gaining momentum.
Trying to put it together, a victory here on the SummerSlam kickoff show. We go a long way. Look at the power of Crews. Now Murphy able to find his way free. Oh!
Elbow right on the ear of Murphy. Crews. Oh, no.
Just enough to slow him down.
Oh, watch this. The head is tucked. Bang!
Oh my. Now Murphy using his power. Running power bomb to put away Crews. Oh, and a kick out by Apollo.
Crews showing some great resiliency. I thought Buddy Murphy had him there.
How about the innovation from Buddy Murphy, trapping Apollo Crews head and neck between the turnbuckle and Crews' own body before delivering that precision super kick.
A chance for Murphy and Crews to stand out, to break out at the biggest event of the summer. Oh!
Crews and Murphy trading rights. Blocked by Buddy.
Oh! Trying to double over Apollo Crews. Series of strikes went for the knee again.
What a response from Crews.
There's the knee.
Murphy answers. Apollo's rocked.
And he, wait a minute. Was trying to close out this matchup. Apollo Crews nearly had him.
But he was looking for his Murphy's Law maneuver. Present twisting slam will drive the wind right out of an opponent, but Apollo has other plans.
Oh! Kick right to the cheek. Now Apollo Crews measuring. Went for the moonsault. Oh, my! Into the steel stairs. And a great job by Buddy Murphy to use the environment.
Murphy's not slowing down.
Murphy over the top.
Both of these men aware of the magnitude of the opportunity, willing to throw caution to the wind to pick up a big W here to kick things off at SummerSlam.
That tosses Apollo. Wait a minute!
Where the hell did Rowan come from?
The man that Buddy Murphy pointed the finger at, responsible for the incident involving Roman Reigns a number of weeks ago.
Obviously, Rowan not taking too kindly to the implication made by Buddy Murphy in the heat of the moment.
Oh, grief.
Roman was attacking Buddy Murphy, now more of the same from the Redwood.
Look it. Oh, Rowan go.
Rowan is sending a very physically intrusive message to Buddy Murphy.
Oh, just launched.
Just stay down, buddy. It's only going to get worse.
Oh, no, oh, no. Oh,
gosh. Like getting hit by a bus. Over 300 pounds. Incredible speed. Just flattened the best-kept secret.
Rowan's not even done yet.
Well, Rowan obviously took great offense to Buddy Murphy, blaming Rowan for the attack. The forklift incident involving Roman Reigns several weeks ago.
Oh, into the post.
Keep my name out of your mouth! You keep my name out of your mouth!
Daniel Bryan has remained mum since the accusation was made, but Rowan watching his protege inflict devastation upon the best-kept secret.
Apparently a lesson for Buddy Murphy. Words have consequences.
We still don't know. Was it Rowan?
We don't.
I want to issue a challenge. You use your influence to hold me down, to hold me back, to ensure that I would never reach the main event.
You weren't ready back then, Kofi.
I kept on grinding. I kept on pushing. I found the power of positivity.
And you're not ready now.
At SummerSlam, Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship.
This 11-year fairy tale you've been living comes to a screeching halt, courtesy of the RKO.
WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, streaming live on WWE Network. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
Hey kids, I am one of the producers on your movie Good Boys, and I'm here with bad news. You cannot watch your own movie.
What? Why not?
You're too young.
Picture this,
There's sex. How many husbands does she have?
There's drugs.
Where is the Molly? Who's Molly?
There's violence. There's too much messed up stuff in there.
You're not getting me. I'm fine. You're
Oh, hell no.
Good Boys. What if we just did a family-friendly Good Boys?
That would be 4 seconds long.
Rated R.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elias.
Hello, I am Elias. And I have one question for everybody here tonight. Who wants to walk with Elias? It is SummerSlam. It is the biggest show of the summer, and I have been here all week long. I've been signing autographs, doing media appearances, private concerts, and I have met a lot of you. And I gotta say, Toronto is a very special place. So I wrote a song. Right now, I need you all to silence your cell phones. Hold your applause, but and most importantly, shut your mouths. think you're the center of the universe. You know how I'm in Toronto? 'Cause I've been here a week, and I want to leave here in a hearse. You know how I know I'm in Toronto? You're the kind of people that just don't give up. You know how I know I'm in Toronto? Because the only thing I don't see here is a Stanley Cup. You know how I know I'm in Toronto? Because no musician here can match my fame. You know how I know I'm in Toronto? Because this place is sold out, you know, the opposite of a Blue Jays game. But you want to know how I know I'm in Toronto? I really ain't got nothing good to say. You really want to know how I know I'm in Toronto? I can't wait to leave and join my friend Kawhi Leonard in LA.
You think you know me?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! What? The Hall of Famer!
Toronto's own
Edge is here at SummerSlam! This moment reeks of awesomeness!
You can't have the biggest party of the summer without the Rated R Superstar. They are standing on their feet here in Toronto. How can you forget the incredible TLC match against John Cena at SummerSlam in this very building? Some would argue that the TLC match was born here 19 years ago.
One of the greatest ever, the Rated R Superstar.
The Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian competed in TLC 19 years ago at SummerSlam. What a fitting return for the Hall of Famer. See the emotion in Edge's eyes. Welcome home.
I guess that's the end of Elias's performance.
I never thought I'd see that again.
Thank you, Edge. What a moment for the Hall of Famer to return home. This is what the biggest party of the summer is all about.
I do what I want, when I want.
Hey, stop this crap! I got something to say! Shane McMahon has got more power and more authority than anyone, and nobody wanted that!
Kevin Owens has been sick of Shane McMahon. His complete ego trip.
Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon will meet at SummerSlam. If Kevin Owens loses, he has to quit.
WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, streaming live on WWE Network. Tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
Guys, I still can't get over what we just saw.
Well, get over it, Phillips, because the goddess is here.
The women's tag team titles about to be defended here in Toronto. Well, what a night it was this past week on Raw. A fatal four-way elimination match as we saw Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss win the titles.
I questioned a long time the union of Bliss and Cross, but I'll tell you what, they've surprised me.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss channeling her inner Buzz Lightyear here tonight at SummerSlam, teaming up with Nikki Cross, two very great friends.
What does that even mean, Phillips? Who has an inner toy?
Well, WWE SummerSlam is presented by Cricket Wireless. All about coverage in and out of the ring. Smile, you're on Cricket. Big Toy Story fan.
Yeah, no, I got it, Tom. It stunk. I appreciated it, TP. Child.
And introducing the challengers, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the Iconics.
Let me guess, Phillips. Billie Kay's channeling her inner Minotaur.
It's actually Maleficent, if you would pay attention to film.
What are we at Disney? Are we a bunch of children all of a sudden?
What would SummerSlam be without the longest reigning WWE Women's Tag Team Champion? It would be nothing, but it's okay. We are here, and you little Toy Story wannabes, you never pinned us for our titles. That's exactly right. And we are here to take back what is ours. Because we still are the future. And the future is...
Well, glad these two are over their emotional meltdown after they lost the tag team
Well,
titles.
as I talked to Peyton and Billy earlier today, they said they spent the last 24 hours locked in the same hotel room, in the same bed, meshing and melding their energies and emotions so they are as cohesive as a unit can possibly be.
That sounds absolutely miserable.
I do want to take a moment and talk about what Royce and Kay were just claiming, that they weren't pinned or submitted to lose their titles.
Are you trying to poke a hole in that theory, Phillips? Because it's true. It's dead on.
Yeah, but it was an elimination match, so it didn't matter. They were pinned and eliminated. They actually were the first team eliminated, and then came Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, plus Asuka and Kairi Sane, who ultimately fell to Bliss and Cross.
Look, anyone who has followed the Iconics knows that these two are full of excuses. Look, at one point they claimed they had puppy fever. Billie Kay apparently had mad cow bird flu disease at some point. These two were the most the pros at evasion when they were tag team champions.
Listen, when you are a global traveler like the Iconics are, sometimes you pick up a weird disease or two.
Less than 19 minutes until the SummerSlam pay-per-view begins streaming live on the WWE Network. Oh! And it's Alexa Bliss trying to slow down Billie Kay. Whoa!
She doesn't have a laser on her hand. It's a blinking light, Phillips.
I told
There's
you.
not even a laser on the toy in the movie. This is ridiculous.
Hey,
I'm embarrassed. I'm about to turn in my Alexa Bliss fan card.
Wow.
That
really a thing?
That's where I'm at. Oh, here comes
made.
Woody. Okay, Mr. Lightbeer, this is ridiculous.
Remind me of my childhood, Corey.
Oh, and Nikki Cross coming in strong in the corner. And Peyton Royce calling the Bulldog.
There's a snake in my boot.
Keep going.
Yeah, I got all night.
Now Cross going up to the top turnbuckle. Trying to pick up the momentum here. Cross body. Trying to put away Royce and a kick out.
Say, I would pay to have a best friend like Nikki Cross.
I would pay someone to be your best friend so you'd leave me alone.
Oh, back elbow. Now Peyton Royce going for a pinning opportunity of her own. Nikki Cross able to escape. Tag made by Billie Kay. Oh, and using the top rope. I don't know if Cross was aware of the initial tag. And now Billy Kay trying to capitalize. Hook to the leg and a kick out by Cross.
You just feel the desperation from the Iconics right now to do whatever it takes to regain the women's tag team titles.
Another cover here on Cross and a kick out. Well, they are the longest reigning WWE Women's Tag Team Champions in history, Byron. Only defended them 3 times.
Exactly. And
they took every excuse to Byron's point earlier to avoid defending them. And now Peyton Royce trying to slow down Nikki Cross. Graves, I thought you'd be happy to see Cross and Bliss, their friendship blossoming this way, becoming tag team champions together.
Oh, you mean like how I've come out here week after week and told Byron and everybody else that they actually were friends? Nobody believed me. They become tag team champions. Now I'm supposed to act like I wasn't right the whole time. This is ridiculous. Alexa Bliss is embarrassing herself dressed like a Disney character. I want the mean, the evil goddess.
Tag.
Not some sort of B-rate Disney movie.
Why are you in such a bad mood tonight?
Because I'm in Toronto.
I like Toronto.
I bet you do.
Great poutine.
Now Billy Kay talking trash in the corner to Alexa Bliss. Again, slowing down the pace here against Nikki Cross. Good test here for Bliss and Cross earlier into their reign. Again, we mentioned the teams that they had to fend off. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Of course, the Kabuki Warriors. A lot of talented tag teams that are going to step up against Bliss and Cross.
Look, this is where that union will really get tested between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So far, smooth sailing, but it's going to be a rocky road potentially going down the line.
You want to know why else I'm out on this team? Because this is the first time Saxton's spoken good.
Cover, and a kick out
of Alexa Bliss in basically ever. It's like if your dad all of a sudden thought your favorite band was cool. You're done. You're going to change bands. That's what this is.
Billy Kay certainly fired up here tonight, and now it's Peyton Royce who's legal into this matchup. Big night for the women's division here at WWE, of course. Bayley defends against Ember Moon, the SmackDown Women's title. Submission match for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch and Natalya, plus the dream match. Trish Stratus and Charlotte Flair. Jawbreaker by Nikki Cross. Now Cross trying to scramble to the corner. And a great job by Peyton Royce.
Cross reaching just inches away from Alexa Bliss.
Nikki Cross. Peyton Royce were both thinking the same thing.
Nikki Cross has somehow got to find a way to make the tag to a fresh Alexa Bliss.
Royce trying to climb to her corner, and now Cross makes the tag.
Down goes Billy Kay.
Go ahead, Byron, get excited. Act like you've been on the Bliss train the whole time.
Listen, I call it like I see it right now. Alexa Bliss doing a good job of controlling the moment here.
An embarrassment.
Insult to injury by Alexa Bliss, and now, Peyton Royce trying to come in and run interference.
Watch out.
Bam! Love it.
Big boot by Billy Kay to recapture the titles. Broken up by Nikki Cross.
I was expecting Moana to come save the day.
You ever stop?
I'm just getting started, Saxton. We got all night.
Oh, lucky us.
And a tag made. In comes Peyton Royce. Now the Iconics trying to close this thing out, trying to recapture the titles.
Wait a second.
We're setting up for the knee, and a great job by Bliss to get out of dodge. And Nikki Cross from behind. And Nikki Cross toppling Billy Kay. Peyton Royce missed with the kick.
Check this out. Great innovative offense. I'll jack your back.
That could be
Peyton
it.
Royce to win the titles. And a kick out by Bliss.
Oh boy. Time for another emotional meltdown. Too late. Peyton Royce needs to get it together here.
Big right hand by Alexa Bliss.
Well, Peyton's out.
Caught Peyton Royce from out of nowhere, and now Alexa Bliss going up to the top turnbuckle. Now Billy Kay. Billy Kay trying to slow down Bliss. Nikki Cross to help out her friend.
Here comes Bliss.
Up to the top, twisted Bliss. Cover. Bliss and Cross retain on the SummerSlam kickoff show.
Here are your winners and still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
It's very clear.
Come on, Andy. Tell me a story.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross successful in their first title defense. Watch this, out of the corner. Boom!
And that was just the beginning of the end. Alexa Bliss, target in sight, a thing of beauty. Twisted Bliss hitting the mark.
The same way that Cross and Bliss captured the women's titles this past Monday night on Raw helps them retain tonight here in Toronto. Difficult outing for the Iconics. Not exactly going to infinity and beyond.
What an impressive win for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. What a sight that is. We are sold out tonight at the Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto, Canada. 16,904 fans are just about set for SummerSlam tonight. Oh, a little over 10 minutes from now. Don't forget, download the WWE app on all your devices and sign in to watch SummerSlam. Don't wait until the last minute, which we're almost there.
The last minute is almost here, Coach, so everyone better hurry up. They want to make sure they're a part of SummerSlam because tonight is going to be crazy. And as we all know, if you're not here at the Scotiabank Arena with us, because this place is sold out, all right? There is not going to be one seat available tonight. It is the biggest party of the summer. So there is only one place to catch SummerSlam. That's on the WWE Network. So head on over right this second. You do not have much time. Go to WWENetwork.com, sign up, because SummerSlam is absolutely free. Book, say it for me.
$3.99, y'all.
$3.99 for new subscribers. And we have so much coming up for you tonight, including the WWE Championship is on the line. Kofi Kingston, he realizes the danger that awaits him when he steps into the ring with Randy Orton, but he is a fighting champion. There's a lot of history between him and the Viper, so Kingston knows tonight he has to defend that championship.
And Finn Balor has been in the ring with so many different versions of a lot of superstars. He's never been in the ring with The Fiend, and that is what Bray Wyatt is calling himself these days. His first in-ring action goes one-on-one against Finn Balor tonight.
And Bayley is a very confident SmackDown Women's Champion. There is not a woman she is not willing to face. She has held on to the gold for some time now, and tonight she faces the fiery Ember Moon.
Dolph Ziggler is sick and tired of these WWE legends coming back and taking his screen time, taking his shine. We had Miz on the show earlier tonight. He said, hey, if you're sick and tired of it, do something about it. Tonight, Dolph has a chance against the one and only Hall of Famer Goldberg.
Also confident tonight is Kevin Owens. The stakes are very high for him after constantly complaining about Shane McMahon's selfish ways. He's challenging the best in the world to a match, promising that he is going to quit WWE for good if he falls to the commissioner of SmackDown Live. Also going down this evening, Ricochet attempting to climb back to the top of the mountain when he takes on the man who dethroned him for the U.S. Championship, AJ Styles, with the added threat of the rest of the OC, who continue to make Ricochet's life hell.
We just heard the reaction that Toronto's own Edge got when he came out. What do you think it's going to sound like tonight when Trish Stratus, who's also from Toronto, gets to battle one of, if not the greatest WWE Women's Champions of all time, the Queen Charlotte Flair. The past and the present go face-to-face tonight. And then the man, Becky Lynch and Natalya, in a submission match. They both feel like they have the better submission move, the disarmer or the sharpshooter. One will have to come out on top later tonight.
The SummerSlam card is stacked from top to bottom. You can hear the people here. It is getting nuts at the Scotiabank Arena. So if you're not here with us, guess what, guys? There's only one place you can watch SummerSlam. That's on the WWE Network. So right now, head on over to WWENetwork.com, sign up, because SummerSlam is
$3.99, y'all. Do it.
$3.99
now.
for new subscribers.
Well, all these fans are waiting for the Universal Championship match tonight. The Beast Brock Lesnar going one-on-one against Seth Rollins. These two have been battling for the better part of 5 months. Brock picked the perfect time to cash in the Money in the Bank contract at Extreme Rules. But Seth Rollins has earned this title shot tonight. And tonight, he must figure out a way one more time to slay the Beast.
Well, we told you so.
Mr. Money in the Bank is here. Rollins just went through an Extreme Rules match. Seth fought in an all-out war.
Brock Lesnar could not pick a more opportune time.
Rollins is a sitting duck.
Tonight, my client, Brock Lesnar, will cash in the Money in the Bank contract. Lesnar's the champion, the conqueror, the beast, and new Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar!
At SummerSlam, Seth Rollins will take on Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. But tonight is Seth Rollins one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. That's the look you want to see in the eyes of a challenger at SummerSlam. That is the look of the Seth Rollins that slayed the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, is here. Ziggler grabbed Rollins' leg from behind, and now Brock Lesnar is on the attack. Oh my God, the Beast now with a weapon.
Wasn't Seth Rollins supposed to be the Beast Slayer? Wasn't Seth Rollins supposed to be the one man that had Brock Lesnar's number? Isn't he supposed to be the big hero? Hold it! Shut it off right now! Isn't he supposed to be Seth freaking Rollins?
Seth Rollins dragging himself across the stage. What the hell does Seth think he's doing?
I've had to ask myself, all this is worth it. Getting beat to a pulp, week after week. For me, the answer is yes. Because this is all I am. This is all I've got. I'll be at SummerSlam. And I'll be Brock Lesnar. I guarantee it.
There are very few men walking the face of the earth that would put themselves through what Seth Rollins has gone through the last few weeks. King, I'm going to start with you. Is there any way that Seth has enough tonight after what we just saw?
I'm just going to say this. As you can see, Brock Lesnar is not the same as normal human beings. He is not the same as you and I. He is not the same as Seth Rollins. I'm going to tell you, Brock Lesnar eats a steak at every meal, and sometimes he forgets to kill the cow. The guy's a beast. That's for real. I'm telling you, after what he's done to Seth Rollins the last few weeks, there's no way that Brock Lesnar is not going to walk out of here tonight the Universal Champion.
But you have to look at it on the flip side as well. I mean, for all that Seth Rollins has gone through, the fact that he's still standing, the fact he's still willing to face Brock Lesnar tonight, how could you imagine he would leave tonight not the new Universal Champion?
I mean, Seth Rollins, last year and a half, guys had an awesome time rising to the occasion. But like King said, Brock Lesnar, no bread, no water, just meat. That's all he wants. That's all he needs. And the shape that Seth Rollins in, I mean, come on. I mean, give Seth Rollins a lot of credit. I mean, the guy has been, going out and creating some of the greatest magic out there. I say some of the work has been like watching reading a great romance novel. It just leaves you in awe. But I tell you, Brock Lesnar, he leaves you in pain. He leaves you barren. He leaves nothing but mayhem and destruction in his weight. So I see a bad night for Seth Rollins.
You're right about that. And let me tell you one more thing. Do you realize that Suplex City was founded right here at SummerSlam a few years ago when Brock Lesnar did in John Cena with the suplex? And I think he's going to keep Suplex City, the thing, going right here tonight at SummerSlam.
Now, the thing is, man, this right here, this match, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, this is the shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night. I can tell you, that is.
I like it.
That's great.
And I say that because Brock Lesnar, I mean, Brock Lesnar, he's not the guy that phones it in or anything. He doesn't text message or Facebook it or anything like that. He goes out and do work in the middle of that ring, and that's what I love about Brock Lesnar.
Well, even Paul Heyman calling Brock Lesnar's acts criminal. So if Paul Heyman's going to go as far to say that, you know that Brock Lesnar means business.
All right, King, thank you very much. Booker T, thank you very much. We are just about set. Over 16,000 strong are here, and they are ready to go. Tonight, so many questions to be asked. Who will have the answers? Can Seth slay the beast and regain the Universal title? Can the man out-submit Natalya? Can Trish Stratus, in her hometown, turn back time and beat Charlotte Flair at the top of her game? This is one of those special nights where you have to stand up and be counted. Well, the countdown is over. SummerSlam is next.
I refuse to let Brock Lesnar be the champion that defines the future. Wait a minute!
Hold on!
And the beast is on the attack. Brock Lesnar may not leave anything left to Rollins for SummerSlam.
This is all I've got.